If you're a 4.0 or a 4.5 and your aspiration is to get to that 5.0 level plus, this video is for you. We're going to talk about the 3 key areas that every single player needs to get to that level. If you're lacking in any of these categories, there's no way you're going to be able to reach that level. All right, first things first, I do want to talk about creating pressure with topspin at the non-volley zone line. These are for dinks, and the first thing that we're going to focus on is creating the adequate space. When we create space, we create time, and it allows us to prepare early. So as the ball is coming over, I'm going to move my feet. A lot of the times I'm actually going to be moving off of the line, kind of with a shuffle step like this. So Sammy, speed me a ball. Just like that, okay? So if we don't create space first, we're not gonna have the time to prepare early, okay? With that, with myself creating space, I wanna be able to drop my paddle head down very early. So I'm in this Eastern grip, I'm in a laid back wrist just like this, and I wanna get my tip down super early so from here, I can control my swing speed. Because the other thing that you really want to make sure is that you're not swinging super fast, because we got to get that ball up and we got to get it down on the other side of the net. So if we're just going to hit a few here. Okay, so notice there, right? I'm creating space off of the line. I'm dropping my paddle head super early out in front in that laid back wrist. And I'm really swinging straight up on that ball. Right now, I'm hitting on the outside of it because I'm going cross court. But you really want to make sure that you're doing those things. Now, Coach Sammy is going to talk about exactly where to hit the ball for the most pressure possible.
So now as far as location goes for our topspin dinks, you're always looking to move your opponents around and make them feel as uncomfortable as you can. One way of doing that is by mixing up middle and wide dinks. A lot of us get into that pattern of going forehand to forehand cross court wide every single time, okay? Now using the middle of the court is gonna force them to stay over a second more, which allows my cross court dink to become that much more effective. Now the other hand, once I'm able to pull them out wide on my cross court, that will also open up a lot more attacking opportunities, specifically down the middle of the court.
Before we talk about the second critical thing that you're going to need to get to a 5.0 level, if you would like a complete attacking masterclass on what to do up at the non-volley zone line against your opponents, go ahead and click the link in the description below or scan the QR code here. All right, the second thing that you're really going to need if you're trying to get to that 4.5, 5.0 level is really fast and reliable hand speed. As this game is getting faster and faster, players are driving the ball and they're attacking more and more from the net. So we have to be able to shut those speed ups down and be really confident up here. So number one, we all know this, you have to have a good and solid ready position. I like to have my paddle right in front of my navel, right around here. I have a slightly favorite to the backhand, and again, that's just a preference for me. But the big thing is that I'm really relaxed. I don't want to be really tight. And with my paddle right here, I can actually defend my left side here, defend my body. And if I need to get to a forehand here, I can get to it really quickly. Now that I have a good understanding of my ready position, I really want to think about my swings. All right, a lot of players think that to counter big and to counter effectively, you need to take really big swings. The best players in the game actually have a very short counter swing. So if I'm going to just punch out, I'm just going to punch out just right to here. And especially for the forehand side, we get jammed up a lot on this side. But if I can read it early, just open that paddle face and just punch through the ball or punch a little bit down, that's going to help me keep my hands really quick, fast, and reliable. So keeping those key things in mind is really going to help your reaction time. Now, Sammy is going to talk really specifically on the strategy on when he speeds up and gets in a hands battle and how he comes out on top of that rally.
So as the player on the right side of the court, depending on the side that you are on, that changes my mindset of where I'm really going to be positioned as far as my paddle and my actual feet. Now, once we get into that hands battle, a lot of people just are like a deer in headlights. They don't know what to do. So when I'm on this right side, if the ball is in front of me or anywhere cross court or to the left of me, I am going to be sitting almost full backhand. Why? Some of this is personal preference, but for a lot of you out there, it's easier to fade towards the backhand side than it is to fade the opposite way to the forehand. We tend to get jammed on the forehand side a little bit more. So once that hands battle starts, I want to make sure I'm sliding this way to clear space, clear that backhand so I can get a good counter punch on it. Now we're on the left side of the court. Our job here changes slightly because I have a little bit more responsibilities, specifically my sideline. So if the ball is ever on that sideline or towards my backhand side, if Jordan's gonna speed up a forehand, I'm not able to go too many places as far as sliding because I have to stay more neutral, making sure I can cover that backhand side. Now, if I am the player initiating, there is an option for me to initiate towards the middle of the court. When I'm using the middle of the court and a hands battle starts, this is the time that I want to start pinching middle, sliding over gradually to limit the amount of court and space that my opponents have to hit. I am okay leaving this little gap of space open because in a hands battle, it is very difficult and near impossible to hit that spot in the court.
All right, number 3, big part of the game that you need to master to get to that 5-0 plus level is the transition zone. So I'm specifically going to be talking about your defense in it and when you need to hit reset shots to get through it, okay? Whether I hit that drive or that drop as my initiator to come through the transition zone, when I'm anywhere in this area, I have to focus on 2 things: my balance and also my paddle preparation, okay? If I'm not balanced, I'm not stable and set, I'm going to be missing a lot of my resets here. So it's really critical that when I come in, I'm super balanced in that really wide stance and my paddle is in a neutral position, right? I know that I have to protect my body, my feet here, but I have to be able to get to that forehand reset, which a lot of high-level players attack. So that's why I need to make sure I'm in this neutral position so that I can guard both my sides and also my feet down here. Doing these things is going to definitely ensure greater success here in that transition. Now, Coach Sammy is going to talk about exactly where he likes to put his resets to get him to that non-volley zone line.
All right, so a couple main goals of my reset before we get into actually where I'm trying to place it. One big thing is we're trying to force upward contact on my reset. In other words, get the ball to bounce. Okay, that's ideal. Okay, that way I can advance forward with my positioning and apply pressure after my reset. So now we'll talk a little bit about where exactly I'm trying to place my resets. I'm typically trying not to hit the ball cross court. Reason being is because I have to use my wrist, and directionally wise, it's just a lot more difficult to hit a consistent reset over and over again. Along with that, whenever I am choosing to reset cross court, that allows my opponent to find a lot more angles in the court, which makes my and my partner's job a lot more difficult. The last thing that I want to mention is we want to have that mindset where we're going to make it to the kitchen. Sometimes it takes 1, sometimes it takes 4 resets, but make sure we're staying patient in this zone, waiting for that right ball and right opportunity to make your way all the way up to the line.